Alright, so who had the worst life? Maul, Meetra, Jaina, or Luke Skywalker? This was a post that I saw on YouTube and I just decided to talk about it. I think that it's between Jaina and Meetra. I am a little bit biased towards Meetra because my favorite game is KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. Like, those are 1 and 2, the favorite games. Story games, because I like Warframe and Path of Exile as, you know, like MMO style games, other games. But anyways, like KOTOR 1 to KOTOR 2, you know, favorite games. The rest of the characters, I love them pretty much equally. I have always loved Star Wars because I just like sci-fi. So that's why I like Warframe 2. But, you know, everyone knows Luke had overall like a really traumatic life, but it was pretty good. So nobody really voted for him. You know, everyone knows he was the son of Anakin and Vader, you know, chosen one, son. So he's just really strong. And he beats the Emperor and Vader, and he turns him back and all that stuff, all that shit. Yeah, everybody knows, bro. Blew up Death Stars and shit. Everybody knows what Luke did. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars. Everybody knows that shit. You know, but his trauma is just like he never really had like a true father. So, you know, obviously that sucks. And he also learned who his father was in like the worst possible way because he was fighting his father. Just sucks. It's just obviously like I don't really gotta explain it. But going on to the next person, who I think it's not. Everybody voted for Maul. I do not know why they voted for Maul. Like, somebody said it's because he didn't have a choice in life and the other people did, and that's just completely wrong. Like, that's just bullshit. Because, you know, before the Clone Wars and before Rebels, he didn't have a choice, obviously, because he was basically under Sidious like the whole time. So I get that. But after the Clone Wars and Rebels, you know, when he comes back with Savage Opress and all of that Clone War shit, you know, he, like, all of his pain is self-inflicted because of his desires. He hated Kenobi so much, he hated Obi-Wan Kenobi so much, right, that he just forgot about his old master, which is like, it's kind of funny because, you know, he hated Kenobi so much that he became just like Kenobi because both these motherfuckers have dementia. They both can't think of, you know, any of the things that they know about Darth Sidious, Palpatine. They just forget about it. They just always forget about him. Just like, bro, come on. But anyways, he could have just chilled. He could have just relaxed after he got off of Dathomir and got his new legs. And he didn't have to do all of that stuff with the Mandalorians. He didn't have to do all the pirate shit. He didn't have to do none of that shit. He didn't have to go on the crusade and fight all the niggas. He didn't have to do none of that, right? He didn't have to get the Darksaber. He didn't have to do any of that shit. He could have just been grateful to be alive, been grateful to have legs, and just gone to chill somewhere, bro. He could have just relaxed. He could have said, damn, I almost died. And I was under this Sith Lord, all types of shit. But I could chill now. I could just go be a regular individual. He could have got a mask. He could have changed his name, everything. He could just relax, bro. He did not have to do that. And he has the Force, bro. He could probably, you know, get mad rich off that shit, bro. He could probably just go somewhere and just use, you know, leverage the Force to trick niggas in like gambling or something. He could do something like that and just win a bunch of money. But no. He didn't want to do that. He just wanted to be a dumbass. And he was like, nah, I have to be an evil Sith Lord. I have to do it. So he just forgot about Sidious. And then he just fucked himself over. And, you know, that's why he got folded like omelet, you know? He got folded like omelet because he forgot about his old master. He was too focused on himself. He was arrogant as shit. And he just got folded. He got folded like a lawn chair, bro. But anyways, that's when we get to the next person who I think it actually could be, because her life was pretty shit, which is Jaina. I'm gonna get to Meetra last because, you know, I like Meetra the most, obviously. But, you know, Jaina had the same problem as Luke, But it was a little bit worse because she wasn't the son of the chosen one. She wasn't as strong as Luke. And then it was also worse just because she was already aware of Jason. So when he turned into Darth Caedus, it wasn't the same with Luke. Luke, he didn't know Darth Vader was his father. He already was on that type of timing with him. He was like, nah, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do this. But with Jaina, she already was present. Like, she was like, damn, she had to be like, damn, that's really my, you know, my blood. So it's just a terrible way to live, bro. Like, nobody's gonna be able to convince me that having to fight your blood isn't a terrible way of living. It's just not good. Like, I have to do that shit in real life, bro. I hate having to argue with my family, my parents. I hate having to argue with that. Like, imagine having to just fight them consistently all the time. They're trying to literally take over the world, bro. Like, no, that shit is, the amount of pressure it would be, that's too much pressure, bro. Like, mentally and emotionally, like, I could tell a goofy nigga off, bro. I don't care about no goofy nigga at school. I don't care about no goofy nigga at the park. I don't care about no goofy nigga in the YouTube comment sections. You know, I don't care about those people as much mentally, emotionally. So when I have to, you know, say what I gotta say, do what I gotta do with them, I really don't care. Like, I don't care about niggas, bro. But, like, cause they don't care about me too. You know, I'm not being a dickhead. Niggas don't care about me either. So it's like, it's mutual. But when it's your blood, you have to, you know, kind of wrestle with your own mind and be like, damn, I don't really want to do it to them, because they are supposed to, you know, they're supposed to care about me. They're supposed to be the most like me. They're supposed to rock with me, bro. So it's a little bit of a more internal dialogue you have to have before you do whatever you got to do. So that's why I would choose. That's Jaina's case. I think Jaina is at the least the second worst. She has the second worst life. Alright, so then we get to the fun one. We get to, you know, Meetra. Meetra, you know, if you play KOTOR 2, you know, she went through hell and back, like, literally, with Malachor 5 and the Mass Shadow Generator. She literally built, you know, connections to all these people who helped build it and fight in the war and shit. And she had to watch them all die. Like, not literally all of them, but most of them, you know. You get some companions here and there, but most of them niggas, they die and they're just gone. And she had to, you know, give up the Force because it was just so many connections. She had that deep a connection, like a literal life and death connection to these people. So when they died, she literally felt it every single time them niggas died. She literally felt it. So, you know, that's why I would pick her, because it's also like, bro, you gave up the Force. Like, the Force is supposed to be amazing, bro. It is amazing. But, you know, that's like the whole point of the game. It's like basically Kreia glazing your ass, because it's just like, oh my god, you made a decision nobody else would make. Oh my god. Wow. You hate the Force like me. Wow. But that's not really what you wanted. So that's why she's interesting, because she made just the toughest decision objectively, because nobody else made that decision. Luke ain't make that decision. Jaina ain't make that decision, and neither did Maul. Maul ain't never make that decision to just give up the Force. Never. They had tough lives, but they ain't never make that choice. That choice, they ain't never made that, bro. So that's why I would choose her, which makes sense. Obviously, if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But, you know, I would give it to Meetra. Yeah. So the only thing that you could say for Luke is if you bring in the goofy Disney shit, right? But that shit I don't really care about, because, you know, I don't think, you know, it compares anyways. But the Kylo Ren shit, like him have to fight him and make that decision, it's kind of similar to Jaina, but it's not really. So it's like, I don't like that story anyways. So I would just not really incorporate that. The way I see the Disney shit, bro, it's honestly the same way I see Legend of Korra, same way I see most of Dragon Ball Super, like that shit is goofy. So I would still just pick Jaina or Meetra. Jaina for me is 2, Meetra is 1, but it's kind of like whatever you want it to be. Like they both made decisions that nobody else on the list had to make. They were very unique decisions.